In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing your
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of Paz and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because we're all mostly from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's better than yours. Not, we're not better than you, but our movies certainly were. So strap on in, everybody, and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore, and also complain about a lot of. We're gonna complain a lot today, everybody. We got one good thing and a lot of bad things. So, does it balance itself out? No, but we're gonna talk about it. How's everybody doing?
Good.
So the new Doctor Who is a reboot. No, well, kind of. It's like a reset. It's technically the same thing because Russell T Davies has stated emphatically that he is not erasing the timeless children. Doctor Who is a little black girl, and she always will be. Sorry, or they always will be a little black girl who
brave
who
black
had her
girl.
reincarnation power siphoned off by the Time Lords to create the Time Lord. It doesn't make a lot of sense, everybody. So it's a soft reboot.
But nothing makes any sense anymore. So
they're trying to shy away from the Jodie Whittaker era without saying that they're doing that because they don't want to piss off the only fans they have left. And so their plan is to continue to piss off the fans that left a long time ago.
or that have been there from the beginning.
So, oh baby, we're going to talk about some Doctor Who. No David tonight. Oh, that was a private chat. Oops. I didn't mean to read the private chat.
Just didn't want to interrupt the stream with it, but
I bet David's just like eating dinner and just forgot. So he'll probably be on. He usually texts
just
me.
late.
Reheating, recalentado.
I know that he
Thanksgiving.
doesn't. I know that he doesn't have any excuses because my parents are gone. So he doesn't have any excuses. He should be here. Because I want to ask if he watched Doctor Who. Because I'm a completionist. I watched all of the Jodie Whittaker episodes.
That's part of what made me want to ask. So I figured I'd see what his thoughts were. And
I've got clips. I've got clips.
Yeah.
Plenty to share with thee and thine. And
Do you think, Jacob, that Doctor Who ended when they casted a female to be the first Doctor? That the next Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, right. It's like if they casted a woman Bond, right?
Look,
Mexa, did you stuff one of your cats, Mexa? It's just frozen up there. You have a frozen cat. Did you stuff a cat? Oh, it's just chill. Okay. I thought it was like leaping in midair. It looked like it was like leaping.
She's chillaxing. Yeah,
she
she's
does
sleeping.
look dead. So.
It straight looked like you had a taxidermied cat just leaping across.
Look,
I think she's sick. I think she has the flu or something. I'm gonna take her to the vet. But she's good. She's good.
Okay. I
It's alive.
understand.
It just looked like a dead cat hanging out there.
Yeah, she's tired.
Back to the nerdy stuff. I understand that theoretically, yes, the Doctor could reincarnate into a woman. I'm not saying that is not physically possible because Time Lords are freaky deaky, timey wimey, wibbly wobbly stuff. The problem that it creates is it completely changes the dynamic of the show. Like, you have this show that you've catered to, mostly nerdy boys. Granted, obviously that's a generalization. There are some women that like Wheel of Time, but mostly it was guys. Okay,
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
You
Did I
said
say-
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. Oh my goodness, it's always on my mind. There's never a show where I will not talk about the Wheel of Time. Trust me. Okay, Doctor Who. The problem is it completely changes the dynamic of the show, and you're going to get the people who liked the show kind of less interested in it, okay? And what makes it worse is they already had a built-in excuse. If they wanted to do a female Time Lord spin-off, it was already written in the script. They could have used the Doctor's daughter, who they put in one episode and then completely forgot about.
Well, and I would imagine too.
And I'm mad about it because I always wanted her to come back.
I would imagine too. One of the things that I think is interesting is if I take a look at one of these properties that either race swapped or gender swapped or whatever, and say, okay, if they had decided not to gender swap or not race swap, and everything else was the same, would it be good suddenly?
No.
And I think the problem is no, it wouldn't. So the problem is not inherently that they switched the gender on it.
Yeah.
It is not adapted as appropriate for that, or that they spent so much time worrying about that they didn't end up with a good story.
Exactly. And that's my, and that, I think that illustrates my point. Like, I would have been interested. I would have definitely watched a female Time Lord spinoff.
I even think, arguably, you could have a female Doctor Who if
Right.
you address and you find ways to shift that dynamic in a way that stays interesting and tell good stories with it. I didn't watch it, so I don't know, good, bad, otherwise with the stories with it, but it sounds like it didn't hit the mark.
Yeah. Yeah. The other problem was Chris Chibnall. Yeah. And the writing massively suffered. I haven't liked a single Chris Chibnall episode before he was turned into showrunner. He's just so bad and predictable and lazy with his episodes. Anyway, we're going to talk about Doctor Who. We got lots of that. We've already kind of started that. We got Invincible episode 4, and the last episode we're going to get for a couple months because apparently 2.5 years is not enough time to do a full 8-episode run. It doesn't make sense, especially considering like the level of animation isn't like that mind-blowing. It's good, but it's not like it doesn't
like Arcane.
It doesn't even compare to Arcane. You're like, pretty much anyone could do this. Like, this is the same quality that's coming out of the Ripperverse. The Ripperverse animations look the same quality.
Look, exactly the same quality. Yeah, they probably use some studios that have some art style that is similar.
Right. But people didn't care about the somewhat lackluster animation quality because the story was so cool. And I gotta admit, it's worth it. Like, I really like season 2, especially this semi-finale. It's pretty dang good.
I have seen most of episode 2 of season 2 now, so good. I've been slacking on my Invincible, but it's good to know that I'm not getting further behind beyond this week. So so
that's what they did it.
I'll probably drop off when you want to talk about Invincible.
That's what they did it. They did it for people like bearded. They did it to pander for bearded men out there.
Probably what it is. Yeah. Just for me by myself. They made sure that give bearded a chance to catch up. Honestly, probably what they're doing is they're saying, hey, instead we're releasing week to week, but we want to make sure that we not only keep people this month and next month, we want to make sure we keep them another couple of months. So we're going to release it a little further out. Yeah. So that they have to stay subscribed long enough to get that.
I do appreciate they've been forthcoming. They're like, we're really sorry about the 2.5 years. They haven't explained why. Like, if they hey, stuff happened, but they're just saying, there were complications and it took us 2.5 years and we couldn't even get the full season out. But they're saying, and they've been forthcoming. They're saying it's going to be early, like no later than spring 2024, and season 3 will not be the same weight.
No,
It's
it's
gonna be
January.
2 years.
It's January
That's half.
2024. They already
They-
said
Did they say
January
January?
20. Yes,
The last
January
I heard was
2024.
spring. Okay, then that's better.
Yeah, because they said that the reason why they didn't want to release it right away or have a 2 week break, or is because of the holidays. They don't want to compete with the holidays, Thanksgiving and with Christmas. So they say we better release it right after the holidays. And so that's what they're gonna do. So in January 20 something, I think, but I they don't say the specific date, but it's in January. That's what I know for sure. January
Well,
24.
we've also, some of these weirdos also watched Wish, so we're gonna talk about that.
I literally just watch it on my phone. It's so funny.
I went to Dragonsteel this week, and I've got a video. Hopefully, it'll be out tomorrow if I have enough energy after this stream to stay up and edit it. You'll have my Dragonsteel video. So
Looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
So
I
that's
finally.
just an excuse for me to talk about the Wheel of Time again, everybody.
Always, all
Oh,
the
nice.
roads come down to
I
the Wheel of
finally
Time.
got my Nightblood. The main reason that I really wanted to do the Kickstarter, I finally got my letter opener.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Mine's I won't have it till Christmas. So
Oh,
I mean, I already know that I have it, so it's fine. Yeah,
it sits
I've
right
got
in
this
front of me.
I've got this wonderful sweater. I've also got a wonderful Christmas sweater that I'll wear come December.
So
Stream.
small note that I thought was mind blowing that I saw from his what he streamed and put on his YouTube channel from Dragonsteel, talking about Hollywood adaptations.
Oh yeah,
Because up until now, I had only heard we had stuff in the works, it fell through, but they didn't say specifically what was being adapted. But he said on stage
it was Mistborn.
there were actors in mist cloaks saying his lines.
Yeah, they were.
So it was absolutely Mistborn that was being adapted,
They
and
were auditioning for Mistborn. Yeah,
I'm just.
and then it all fell apart. It all fell apart.
I also like though he's mentioned that he's getting better as a screenwriter, which means that he's looking like he's going to end up doing actually the screenwriting as opposed
he's
to.
making a lot. He's pissed. He's pissed. So that stream was very tame compared to the first stream, the first Q&A that he took shots. He took shots at Amazon. He took shots at Disney, Marvel specifically. Like he was like, someone asked him about a book that he had mentioned he had an idea for and he hasn't gotten to. Which I think it's like the Night. No, it's not the Night Brigade. That's something else. He had some book that he'd always talked about wanting to write, but it dealt with multiversal stuff. And he said, "Yeah, I've really put that one aside. It might happen eventually, and if it does, it'll have specific rules because we've all seen how modern multiverse stuff has turned out." Like he took shots at Disney. He was not happy with Amazon. He said, "I've started when bringing up the scripts." He's like, "Yeah, I've gotten better and better at writing scripts because I'm mad." He's like, a lot of these meetings, they don't even trust me as a writer, and like they won't take my input as a storyteller. And I'm like,
well, I mean,
I'm just gonna do it myself. Like,
there's a ton to be said for like there is a different skill in screenwriting versus writing for a novel.
I
Like,
mean,
able to be able to give input and but also still as a storyteller,
right?
And like it's like come on. I would have been fine if he had other screenwriters, but if they were screenwriters that he worked with and was able to say, able to give notes back, and they were willing to actually listen to him.
The only difference, I honestly, like, it's a transferable skill. Yeah, there is some difference, but like it's not hard to learn. I'd say
there's a lot of pacing sorts of differences and things like that you want to do.
Right, right. Learning how to give exposition in dialogue versus internal monologues, like that's an adjustment. But also, I'd say the biggest, especially for like TV, is learning how to break up your story into bigger chapters that each have a cliffhanger, so people want to keep coming back. Like, that is an art form. But like basic storytelling is 100% transferable.
Yeah. It's just storytelling. He is a good storyteller. He's a great writer for what you guys tell, because I don't know how to read, for what you might remember. And I
There are
think
Spanish
that
translations,
he's
though.
totally capable of doing that for himself, more capable of the writers of the actual Wheel of Time, and more capable of any writer of modern Hollywood, probably. So yeah, I think that is something that you do also with books. At the end of most chapters, you have to be able to entice the reader to keep reading, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think you had to do the very same thing with chapters, and maybe it will be way more faithful adaptations if he was actually
Yeah, I mean, if he's
listened
writing them,
to.
they're gonna be spot on. I was expecting someone else to end up doing the screen, writing the actual screenplays for
Mhm.
him, but
No.
that he would have strong input on it, and I figured he would have enough creative control that he'd be able to keep it pretty tight. But with him writing screen, actually doing the screenwriting on it, that's a big, big step in the right direction. Of he's going to have good control there.
Yeah, he did say he's not to the point of just crowdfunding his own stuff yet. He's like, I haven't ruled that out, but that's not going to happen anytime soon
Well, he
because
talked
like
about wanting to have a partner, and again, this is exactly
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
referring
he's
to.
like
He said,
he
"We want to have
literally
a
said,
partner
I
that like
want to do
really."
a cinematic universe. Like
He wants a partner that's willing to work with him for 20 years and knows the industry and knows how to make
right,
this all work
right.
and do it for 20 years.
Which
Not
means he
yeah,
wants it to all be connected like his books, which is what I've been wanting.
yeah.
Which is fantastic. But yeah, so he's like, yeah, I want a partner who's willing to invest. But he also said, like, even if I had to do it myself, like, even though I could probably figure out the writing, like, there's a lot of other stuff in filmmaking
Mm-hmm,
that I don't know how to do, and I'd be scared I would waste your money.
mm-hmm,
Like the production quality and stuff like that. Like, obviously, he doesn't know how to do that personally, but he could find people he trusts, and that's the hard
mm-hmm,
part is people that you can trust, right? You could
mm-hmm.
find experts who are going to burn through your money like Jeff Bezos's stuff. Um, I'm sure he can't be happy about Rings of Power, right?
No, no way.
Uh, so he wanted it to be his little baby, and he got a little special
Goblin.
needs baby.
Little goblin. Yeah.
I guess you guys were like getting into Wish before we could even start the stream. You guys want to talk about Wish?
I'm curious what Jared has to say about it. But he's disappeared there a little bit. I don't know. What are you saying about Amexa?
I mean, I can go into a little bit of a rant here with Wish. Everything that you saw in the trailers and everything that everyone was complaining about is basically what happens in the movie. You know, the villain is not a villain until it becomes a villain, like literally out of nowhere. In it's so rush, it's annoying. I was waiting for it to happen. Maybe some more things happen, but in the first 15 minutes, I'm not lying, 15 minutes of the show, the villain is just like snaps. And he's like, oh, this guy has borderline of something. Or what is going on?
Mm-hmm,
What is going on here? Because the movie starts and the girl is like basically starts like Encanto. It starts exactly like Encanto with the song like welcome in this we are the Sanchez or whatever the freak the name of
mm-hmm,
the Encanto guys are. And this is Rosas, and it's okay if you're gonna do a movie about the island in the Mediterranean. Okay, call it Rosas. It's Rosas. First of all, it's pronounced Rosas. Magnifico, Magnifico. Okay, whatever. They pronounce it, and the only everyone has a Mexican name. Well, not Mexican, you know what I mean. But except for Asha and Anaya, who are the brown ones. Everyone is diverse in this movie. Everyone is so
mm-hmm.
diverse in this movie. There's even a girl that limps for no reason. They don't
She
explain
does
why
have a
she
screen deal.
limps, but she has a freaking cabestry. What do you guys call it? Like
Little
the little
crutch.
the little crutch, yeah, little
A Tiny
crutch
Tim
for
Crutch.
no reason. It's like
Mm-hmm,
the dog in Strange Worlds. Yeah, there's a guy whose entire character is just that he sneezes, so he's about to say a sentence and all he's like and then someone has to put the
and I
finger in
straight up
his
do the
nose
yep.
so
There,
he doesn't sneeze, and that's his entire
Mhm.
freaking character that
His
his nieces,
personality is that
and
he
his
sneezes.
Well,
entire design is an
mm,
asset from Encanto. Is the guy
mhm.
that is a Bruno asset. It's literally the
He is
Bruno
he's
asset.
he's got the same face as
He has
Bruno.
the
It's
same
actually
nose.
the transforming character. It's that transforming
Yeah, it's
character's
Bruno. It's
character.
Bruno. Yeah,
No, it's not
yeah.
Bruno. I think it's the little brother, like Camillo or whatever.
Ah, yeah,
It
yeah,
looks very
Camilo. Yeah, you're
similar to
right. You're right.
Bruno
You're right.
too,
Yeah,
but it's
exactly. I forgot
Camillo.
about it. I
It's
forgot.
Camillo's face and everything, and you're like,
Hmm. It's the
that's
same
from
asset.
yeah. They just used that asset and just brought it over.
Exactly.
That
And
was
the other
So,
interesting.
asset that they use is the one from Frozen. You remember the guy, one of the guys that is the guy that is a knight. His face,
Okay.
his nose is completely different to every other nose because it's a nose from Frozen.
This is the nose from
It's
Frozen.
so
The, the
egregious.
the only one that stood out to
Mhm.
me was Camillo being in there, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't rewatch it. I can show you the images, and
I'm
you're
not.
gonna
Yeah, I
see
don't
like,
doubt it.
yeah, is the
I
nose,
think
is
you're
the
right now that I'm
nose.
thinking of it too.
Yeah, yeah, is
Yeah.
the nose
Yeah, apart from the
of
reused
Frozen.
assets, like people are, it's just really ugly animation. It's so boring.
I mean, I wouldn't agree with that. I think it
It's
was a
bland.
little different, but it wasn't bad. It
I
wasn't
can't
bad.
stand
It's
it.
not bad.
So,
It's just
yeah,
bland.
tell me more of your thoughts, Jared. Too. Oh yeah, you finish what you were saying, Mexa. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, I can just break down a little bit of the plot, and you can just guys give me, interrupt me when you guys want to give me like the feedback,
Well,
so I
what
can
did you think
just go
about the?
chronologically. So
Yeah.
yeah, we were going to about the it started as Encanto, literally, and then she goes immediately to be interviewed to be the king's assistant,
Mhm.
and then they start singing a song together, which is probably one of the best songs in the movie,
Yeah, I was gonna say I really like this
arguably,
song.
probably one of the best
Yeah.
songs in the movie, arguably, because Chris Pine, I don't know if he's a good singer, but he does a great job in this movie
Yeah.
singing.
Either
It's
him
great
or whoever
acting,
they said to
great
sing for
voice
it.
acting from this guy. Anaya, great voice acting as well for her. Although sometimes
Yeah.
she sounds not as a girl, but sounds like 20-year-old smoking habit, which is like in the beginning. But it's just like I'm nitpicking because because I'm a musician, so I just focus too much on the voice of them because I'm
Mhm.
a singer, so I just listen too much of their voice. But they do a great job. Is the only thing that I will say that is good in this movie. And then immediately she starts singing and she finds the wish from her grandpa. And she just out of nowhere, she just met the guy and she asked the king to grant his 100-year-old granddad his wish, which is like,
Mhm.
okay, why even he's about to die? Okay, whatever. I'm just mean. I'm just an asshole sometimes. But I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay, yeah, grant his wish. He not gonna do anything with it. Like but the king brings the most dumb like excuse, and I'm not joking. He says his grandpa is like with a mandolin playing the guitar, and that's his wish. He wants to
Well,
inspire people
his
with
wish is he
his
wants to
guitar.
inspire the next generation. I actually think that the king. Okay, so I got to jump
Yeah,
in here
yeah,
too
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah. Tell me.
I'm with you with so much of this. The diversity of the thing. Sure, fine. I don't care. Cool. You got somebody with a cane. Cool, fine. It's a magical kingdom, and you have a bunch of people come visit, and it's fine. I don't care about that. People are going to be excited about that. Doesn't hurt me at all. Didn't hurt the story itself.
It doesn't
However,
matter, yeah.
the villain is just so poorly done
Mhm.
because the part you kind of skimmed over before they get into starting out with the Family Madrigal song, the This Is Rosas song. You get this narration of Chris Pine talking about, he'd gone through some sort of tragedy and he wanted to make sure that never happened to anybody else. So he learned magic and he established a kingdom and welcomed people to come into the kingdom. And he said, you know what, here, I know wishes are really important. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your wishes and I'll protect them. And I grant some of them from time to time and just make sure that everybody's happy. And they go through, and there's even a couple of places later on where it indicates like he doesn't charge them rent. He's not like getting money from them. He's not trying to get rich off of them. He's not doing, you find out later he can use the wishes to grant him some extra power, and he never did any of that. But they still frame him as this like jerk that is holding on to their wishes, even though everyone gave them up willingly. And and doesn't want them back. Everyone's saying, no, I want him to keep my wish. And yet she's like, no, that doesn't belong to you. You're not allowed to have it. That's not okay. And his excuse here where he's saying, look, your grandpa's wish it's too vague. And overall, I think that it was a little bit more paranoid than is necessary, but he's not wrong. He wants to inspire the next generation, but inspire them to what? It's too vague to grant that magically. If you're looking at this world where he can grant this wish magically it is done. Whatever you want, it happens. It could be this problematic thing. So it's totally fair that he's somebody who everybody has trusted to protect them and protect their wishes, that he says there are some wishes that aren't going to be good. There are some wishes that aren't going to be beneficial overall, that I'm not going to grant all those ones. And she just gets really upset about the fact that, like, oh, you're just holding on to everybody's wishes and never going to grant them. Everybody knows nobody is tricked into giving their wishes. Nobody is given a false promise that you will get your wish granted. It's I grant some wishes, but not all of them. And this is a magical ability that he took time and figured out. And I wanted to get into the, like, there are some kind of fun and clever things. The whole sneezing character thing, right? It's trying to be a reference, and if you look at that whole group, it's actually the 7 dwarves, and you've got your Sneezy, your Dopey, your Doc, your whatever. Cool. They want this to be a love letter to the 100 years of Disney, and I think there's a lot of things that could have been fun there.
Anymore.
Well, but here's the thing. I think it's supposed to be more of like a prequel, like it's setting those things up.
They do kind. It plays it in a way where it could seem more like a prequel because they're setting up her to be the fairy godmother, and I think you've got John and Bambi. Although it can't be a prequel because Bambi's grown up. So unless he was maybe anyway, there's a Bambi.
It's true. Maybe it's just more
Bambi's dad. It's Bambi's dad, right?
Yeah, maybe it's I think
it was Bambi's dad because he was a grown.
It was or like I said, it's again just a nod to it because it's like maybe it is the grown up.
Yeah, maybe that's more what it is.
But either way, like I can tell they wanted it to be that way, and knowing you guys know me, I'm always looking for that positive. I want to be positive, and so I'm looking for it, and I'm wanting to let them. I want to let them pull on those nostalgia strings, as dumb and as easy as they might be, and as like just like the easiest little nostalgia string pull that you can do. But they messed up that villain character so much that it frustrated me so much that they start him out as this, like, you get this narration of him being like, I established a kingdom and welcomed anyone who wanted to come. I'm not forcing anyone to stay. I'm not forcing anyone to give up their wishes. And then they just make it out to be like I don't like that you have everyone's wishes. And so the part that he was just about to get to is it gets into she goes out and sings a song and wishes on a star. She's not 18 yet, so she hasn't given her wish to him. She wishes on a star and it comes down and he gets paranoid. And to be fair, he's responsible. He's the king responsible for these people and their safety. So he's worried about what's going on. Again, maybe he's a little
Well, I need to cut it.
Ridiculous for him to be worried about that. And then suddenly he starts going into the dark magic. And when he goes into the dark magic, it makes sense. Okay, now he's in the dark magic. That turns him villain. But if you had a better progression from this altruistic person that set up the kingdom for the good of everyone and maybe got a little twisted or something like that, and then to connect him over to using the dark magic and becoming an actual villain, cool. But they didn't do that. They just like, you have a thing that that I don't think you should have, and so you're a bad guy. And him trying to protect that thing that he said he was going to protect, suddenly he's a bad guy. I don't.
Okay. I gotta cut in, Bearded, because here's the way I see it. Like, I think that ultimately it wasn't. I mean, the bad guy. Okay, so what I wanted to point out is that there was just some missing motivations for the bad guy, but they did explain a lot of the stuff to say, hey, this is why he's doing it, right? So they explain a lot of okay, this is why he cares about these wishes. This is why he's doing this. This is why he's doing that, right? But the problem is that I think the order in which some of this stuff happened messed up some of his decisions and like influences why he did it, right? Like, for example, initially there was a scene where he goes in and he finds out who betrays him, and he goes and he crushes the dream, right? But what doesn't make sense, and this is, I think, because my wife and I were talking about this afterwards. The biggest thing with that particular scene is if he really thinks that these dreams need to be protected and cared for, why would he crush this dream, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to crush this dream or even want to crush
But
this.
in one point,
Even
what point?
if someone's betraying him or whatever, that would never be something that motivates him because he's trying to protect these and cherish these, right? But from that moment, that's when he's like, oh, there's power in these things. And then the rest of the show is like, okay, he's power hungry, right?
Yeah.
So what should have happened is that should have been a scene that just happened later on, right? So it was like, okay, what probably was the best sequence is something like, okay, he loves this. He loves helping out these people and helping them with their dreams and their wishes. But maybe he's like curious, okay, I need to find out better ways to make these dreams more possible or to grant more. So then he starts on this path of like, okay, I need to do more. I need to research more. And then it's like, okay, well, now there's this forbidden book. I need to go into this forbidden book to find out how I can make this happen, right? And then that's when the corruption happens, and then that's when the greed and then the little quirks of like, ooh, I'm so gorgeous and handsome can just be his character, you know? He's just like, ooh, I just know that I'm
you can
gorgeous.
have this popping up more later after he's been corrupted, or again if you have it just as a thing, but because they want to play with that idea of him being like, oh, he's quirky, but the problem is too that bit of him crushing the dream and how, you know, saying that maybe that should have happened later, that needs to have been like the thing that started him going. But before that, they even have him being a little too egotistical because she's like, well, but what about this? That's not okay. And he's like, no, I decide. And you're like, why are you a jerk suddenly? You were
out of nowhere.
You're doing this generous thing, but
so
now
that's the
out
thing.
of nowhere you decide you're also going to be a jerk.
But even
and
then, if he's being a jerk about it, he's not wrong. Can we just admit that some wishes don't deserve to be granted?
Absolutely.
Some desires are better than others. Like,
and
furries exist. They don't like. No one should be granting them wishes.
Here's the thing that I also think is they wanted to play with, but they didn't do enough of it to make it actually work for the movie, because everyone in Rosas has given up their wishes, right? Everyone has given them up, and as a part of this process, they give it up and they forget their wish, right? Which that's like okay, I could see how that idea of he's taking it and now he's depriving them of something, so they might be missing something in their lives. But 99.99% of the population of Rosas doesn't seem like they are lacking anything. They're not like mindless automatons, but they do have the one character that they like decide to give a little bit of that idea of like, oh, he just turned 18, so he just gave his wish away. And now, since he gave his wish away, he's more blah. He's more vanilla. He's a little bit more boring. So they hint at the idea that by giving away your wish, you lose something that makes your life joyful and worth having joy. But none of the rest of the characters exhibit that at all.
With that, I was thinking that same thing. But if you think about it, he does grant wishes, right? So that's the thing, is like some of those do have those wishes, and as you're looking at the city, like based off of all the wishes that the one that it shows you, it's obviously these sorts of wishes that sort of like that like increase the economic happiness, right?
Sorry.
Nope.
No, I get it, right? And that's the thing, and that probably was her wish, right? But it doesn't ever show that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, not everybody has their wish, and so they may be
is a little bit late on the draw.
They may
the wishes,
you know, they may be more somber, but at the same time, there have been a lot of people that have had their wish come true, and of course, then that means that they're happy and they're joyful, and then they're they're making the best dresses, they're making the best food, they're making the best. So
that could be the case, but the problem is, go ahead, Alan.
Quickly, we just need to acknowledge our wonderful audience. We got Jacob Ironside in the chat, a great guy. The Lost Souls trilogy. I haven't bought your book yet, but I think I might want it for Christmas because it sounds cool. I'm just it's gonna take forever for me to read because I do audiobooks. We got Guy. I don't know how to Gad Boys.
Gad Boys.
Yeah. with an amazing chat. Did no one wish the girl using a crutch could walk again?
The wishes are
And of course,
started. The wishes. There's a girl that is her entire wish is to
hold on.
fly.
We got to shout out Mark Clark, our wonderful channel member,
Mark Clark.
who's a little bit late. Yeah, I don't know where David is. He didn't even text me saying he wasn't going to show up. So something.
So I want to address that idea that Jared was just talking about, though.
Okay, go ahead.
So the problem though is that they don't demonstrate that in any way, shape, or form. The only one we see and have any commentary on having a lack is the one that just gave his wish away, and we specifically see both the grandpa and the mom of the main character, Vaisha, or whatever her name is, seeming to have pretty full and seem to have happy lives. And I mean, you could say that most of the rest of the ones that we're following that we're actually seeing are the kids that haven't given away their wish yet. But again, if they want to push that narrative of, oh, by giving away your wish, he actually has taken something from you, whether or not he meant to, which again, they could have played around with that, but that's why it just didn't work for him. But also, if you just wanted to say that by them not having their wish, they are more blah, more whatever, you need to show a little bit of that in order to make it make sense that she's like, no, this is not okay that you're holding on to these wishes. Because the easy answer is, let them take their wish and leave. Because if they're going to be in my kingdom, I'm giving them protection, and that's a part of the thing. But like, they don't do any of that. Oh, just.
Well, the other thing too, though, with that is that at the first it kind of talks about how, with the narration at the first, it talks about how the dreams, a lot of them never happened, and so the reason why he was taking them away is to basically like, you know, you don't have to worry about it because
you don't have to worry about
you never have to worry about being let down, that it's not going to happen because you don't know about it. And so I think that's part of the issue. That's part of it too, though, is saying, look, like, it's not necessarily saying that you know, once it's taken from you, you're sad and droopy all the time. I think they specifically did that with that character because they were trying to get into this, hey, like this sleepy dwarf, right?
True, yeah.
But at the same time, like, the other people were still happy. They just because they didn't know what was missing, right? They even did that in the song. They said, hey, you won't even know it's gone, right? So a lot of times, like, I think that's another aspect of why they're still okay, is because they don't know that they're missing it. Well, but they're not reaching their full potential, and that's what I think she had issue with.
Yeah, I guess that's still it still mostly comes down to my point of like it, because it's not causing them a problem. It's harder to feel like it makes sense for her to be like just so incensed that he's holding on to him. I get the general concept, like you said, that, you know, having a wish feels nice, and you not being able to reach your full potential because maybe you could do some work to make it happen yourself. Not all of them, obviously, like the flying one wouldn't have worked, but like,
yeah. But this is the other thing with the flying one.
So villainous so quickly without even before the Darkhold thing gets a hold of him.
I agree, and I totally agree that his motivations needed some work and needed some switching around or whatever.
Yeah,
but I would also say too,
Disney has no original ideas.
But this is the other thing.
I think that they did a better job with Scarlet Witch and the Darkhold.
Exactly, they did a better job with Scarlet Witch.
Better job with Scarlet Witch and the Darkhold than this.
Yeah, way better. This was absolutely stupid.
So Alan,
I disagree, but here's one more thing to think about. Because the thing is, too, like, it's the 100th anniversary, right, of Disney, and their main thing is, hey, you can wish upon a star, right? Which basically means that, hey, anything is possible. So even that wish where, like, that one girl could fly, like, yeah, it's silly, but, I mean, it goes to show that, hey, these are things that, like, yeah, they may not be possible, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't dream or wish that, right?
Right. Like, just one other like little piece that I wanted to touch on that they hint at, but they don't dive into, that again just made it feel so much more frustrating that they didn't. Again, like I said, I get what you're saying, Jared.
I've seen
like,
way too much Wheel of Time fan fiction. To grant everyone's wish.
But
I agree. I agree with that.
There's a line where somebody says, yeah, I want to know what my wish was. Since I've given away, I want to know what my wish was, because what if it's changed since I was 18? Because everyone gives it away when they're 18. And that's an interesting idea too, of like, give people back their, like, or whatever, but they just, it doesn't. I get what you're saying in terms of like, this is Disney, it's all about their 100 years, and saying like a dream is a wish your heart makes. They're all about dreams. They're all about, you know, the motivation that comes from having dreams and all that. they just didn't really like. I know they want this to be a classic that stands the test of time and becomes a favorite for lots of people,
but it won't.
and it won't. And I think it's, for me, it's that I'm almost afraid that it will, because again, the motivation for the villain being so poorly put together, to me, just speaks too much of this of a modern, like, oh, somebody has a thing and it's not okay that they have a thing, and so we need to make sure that they don't have it anymore. It feels too much like that, because it then goes into this very much, let's build a rebellion. We're going to start a rebellion, which I think there's a lot of people who feel the want to be a part of a rebellion, a rebellious aspect here. And I think that if you could pretend, like, if they had set up the motivations of the villain better, if you had a better villain that you were actually understanding a bit better why they were revolting against him, it would feel a lot more powerful to be like, yeah, let's revolt, let's stand up, let's fight against
and
him.
He was right.
Don't.
At the end of the day, he was right. They did rebel against him. That's how the movie ends.
He started out with the right idea and the right intentions and the right everything, and they did not do a good enough job to connect the idea that he went from that to the thing that's going to corrupt him.
Okay. Rather than honoring 100 years of animation in Disney, they decided to date this movie with modern day woke gross politics. And honestly, it's already, it's not going to be remembered in 100 years because it's already stale. People are already tired of this crap. And it literally is the ugliest animation that I have ever seen. Like
in Disney,
Alan from Film Threat has been tearing the show apart. Like, the character designs are just boring. And like the staging, like he's like, people have been rolling into him because, like, oh, you're racist, you don't like characters. Like, I like all three of these movies; they're fantastic. It's just that this movie is crap. Like, comparing just the background, just like this stuff used to be art. This is
I get that.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Yeah,
but I just think it's different. It's not necessarily bad. It's just different.
Right.
The one thing I will say, watching the trailers, when the trailers came out, looking at the trailers, and I thought, ooh, I don't like this. It almost feels like, old green screen where you could tell it was green screen because the outline was too strong. I saw a lot of that in the trailer. When I watched the movie, I did not get as much of that. Yeah, I got it occasionally, and other than that, it's an art style, and it's just a different.
Like in this scene, is exactly what you said.
There's that too heavy of an outline, and I'm like, no, it doesn't look good, and it's unfortunate because most of the rest of it is at least good. I think it's at least good. Maybe not as amazing as it could be, but it's at least good.
The animation is fine. It's compared to freaking, I don't know, to a low budget movie. This is a 210 million movie.
Yeah, but I think it's just an artistic choice that they chose to do, and I think that's fine. As we're moving into more modern media, you have to explore different ways of telling the story and showing the story.
That's it right there. Look, I get that it's a style, it's an aesthetic that I don't like, but this panel says everything. Okay, we live in a time where animation, like technology, has progressed so much that we should be capable of making things like the League of Legends,
Arcane,
like Arcane, right? We have the capability to your artwork, and we have the technology to quickly render scenes like this. The problem is the skill is absent. So you have boring staging where these characters are just standing rather than actually being framed, using composition in the frame. So
not only that, but
this wonderful technology, and it's become so much easier to produce this stuff. The people doing it are talentless.
Yeah, not only that, but it is on the record, and this is known on the record, that this movie was completely different. That this movie originally was completely different in every aspect of it, and it was changed at the last minute because of some ideas, some identity, diversity, inclusivity executives.
But look
that
at
decided that this movie was not that this movie, because the villain was not only the man but also the woman. It was the team of the partners were the bad guys, both of them, and the woman was actually the most evil one, the
but
one
There
that
look
was
at
stuff
was.
this.
in the
Look at
trailer
this
Yeah.
comparison.
that made me think
This
that too. I was like, oh,
Yeah, that was because that
yeah.
was the original plan, and the original plan was not to
Mhm.
do this meta thing that they did at the end of trying to do a prequel or an origin story of every Disney movie ever, right?
And I'm
No,
fine with that. That didn't
the
bother me.
original plan was to make 100-year celebration, and that was
look
in the plan.
look at the difference between these two shots.
Yeah,
I
how
thought
much
I think the one
color.
from Wish is beautiful. I think the one from Wish in that shot is beautiful. I
I hate
like
But
that.
it's just three strokes. It's just three. Well, it's more strokes, but it's
it's
just
this.
I
It's
see
three.
what you're
Is
saying.
just one and an outline, and that's it. It was just one line and an outline, and that's it. And how much color does the other one has?
Yeah. I mean, I guess all I'm saying is that to me, it's the animation didn't bother me as much as I expected it to,
Yeah.
and I don't have an issue with the things that you guys are calling out with it. I see kind of where you're coming from, but I don't
But
mind.
again, I don't care about the animation. I've
Yeah.
seen the minions. I don't give a damn about the animation.
Dude,
I like the
imagine
minions.
going back in time and giving the tools that we have today to the animators of the past.
I cannot believe.
Like,
Yeah.
can
Mhm.
like it brings me to tears.
Yes.
The amount of
It's really
of
frustrating.
talent, or not talent, the amount of privilege that we have just squandered.
Yes. That's why we are talentless if we compare
Like you
ourselves
can't you
to
cannot say that they
the
would make
masters
something
to the
incredible.
past. We are completely talentless, completely we are nothing compared to the masters of the past because
The
they didn't
Nerdporeal
have
life form
the opportunity.
coming in from a 5-hour stream with Dane Bornhold. I hope it was worth it.
So I don't know. Like I said, I'm generally
Yeah,
a lot
but
more
I
positive,
agree.
and I like a lot of things about it. There's things that I almost wish I could like it better, but just the way that they set up the villain and the way that they framed him as a jerk almost
Yep,
like they framed
it's
him as a
dated.
jerk just for wanting to
A
protect them
narcissist out of
because he
nowhere.
happened to have their wishes.
Yeah, he
They
definitely could
didn't
have
set
used
that up
senior.
well enough. They and it ruined the whole movie for me.
Yeah,
I
it
couldn't
was
get that out of my
frustrating.
head and enjoy it because it's not even like, oh, he's there and then we get a nice story of something else and then like we fight against him in the end because he's bad. No, it
This is guys.
it
This is coming
motivates the
from
whole
Jared.
thing.
This is coming
Oh,
from Jared.
Exactly.
Guys.
Yeah,
Our
that's
resident
what is
our
surprising.
resident apologist, and he can't get past the
Everything,
wokeness
everything
of the
he's
movie.
saying, I agree with. Yeah, everything you're saying, I agree with for the first time in my freaking life.
it was just so frustrating. I wanted to like this movie and I thought there's so many good things and cool things that they could be doing, or at the very least things that it's like, hey, maybe it's tired and easy because it's just pulling on nostalgia, but I'm okay with that.
It
I
should
would
have
be
been
totally
timeless.
in for that.
Yeah.
It should
But
have
if
been
you just
timeless, but they decided to date it.
Oof. Do you know how they make the guy, how the guy completely becomes utterly mad and loses his freaking mind? It's because people are making him random basic questions like,
Yeah.
"Oh, are the dreams safe? Are the dreams like?" And he completely. But the scene is so
Because he's
dumb
already
because
a
they try to make it funny. The scene they try to make it they try to make it funny and it falls because it's also the motivation for the villain to lose his freaking mind. And it all starts because Asha needs more time to steal the wishes from her father and I mean grandfather and her mother. And when I saw her looking at the wish of her grandfather, I never seen someone so greedy. Do you see how greedy her eyes were shining of greediness like a freaking crow looking at metal? Yeah, it was so greedy, literally. I was like, how is this the hero? And then she asked, can you grant my grandfather his wish? And he's like, no, it's too big. He can start a revolution or something. Which he does, basically. But he doesn't. He doesn't.
He doesn't, but
He
it
doesn't. But
still happens. Yeah.
he was
No,
right in a way, he took it as stream. He has probably some issues with anxiety, and he probably is based of a writer that is high on Adderall, so is reactionary in that way. Probably has borderline. The person that wrote that character, I know because I have borderline. I probably would react that way.
I can even totally get behind the idea that he's just going a little too crazy and he just takes it the wrong way. And like most of that, like I can get behind that. I can understand that. It makes sense. Sure. Just
feels out of nowhere. It's like a punch in the gut. When you're watching the movie, you're like, yeah, the movie is funny and whatever, and then you receive a punch in the gut. You're like, oh, come on. That's what it felt for me. That's what it felt for me. The villain when he's like, I control what the wishes are, and he's like with the evil face and everything.
And that was before he got into the Darkhold thing.
Exactly.
That was the first shot we have of him after hearing that he established this kingdom and wants to help people protect their wishes and grant wishes magically.
And he was completely justified to react that way because Asha was being a complete, spoiled brat, saying like, why are you not granting the wishes to everyone? You decide who wishes and who doesn't, who gives you the right. And he's like, I decide. Obviously, he decides.
For some reason, everyone chose to watch Wish instead of Napoleon. I didn't watch either because I've been at Dragonsteel, and I've been spending time with family because Thanksgiving. I don't know why any of these people watched Wish.
I watched Wish because I couldn't watch it in my phone without changing anything because the art was so whatever that it didn't matter.
No one saw Napoleon, right? No,
I want to watch it in IMAX. I want to watch it in IMAX.
There's that one, and I still need to see. I almost went to see Killers of the Flower Moon, but it's a freaking 3.5 hour movie, and I decided to do Wish just because it's brand new this week, and I expected to be like, you know what, everyone's gonna be so angry at it. I want to get my own opinion. I want to be able to defend it and talk about what I liked about it.
Imagine that.
But I went with my family, so I with my in-laws, so that's why I went. It was free.
It's the kind of movie that should be a good movie for the family. I'm not even necessarily going to say I don't know.
I rather Hunger Games.
I hate to come across as negative as I have been and being like, this is the word. Don't bring your family to this because it's going to corrupt your kid. Mostly, I don't think it will. I don't really think that's going to be a problem. However, this one I almost do feel like that because the way they frame this idea of just being upset at somebody who's in power because they're in power, and that really bugs me.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. That's definitely one you don't have to worry about, in my opinion.
Yeah,
does it bother you as much as Inside Out bothers me?
Maybe I don't know. I don't know if I've heard your rant on Inside Out.
Inside Out? What bothered you about Inside Out?
Oh, Inside Out is if you have kids, Inside Out is the worst movie ever. Don't
show it to your kids.
It literally teaches kids they are not in control of their emotions.
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't think about it. It's just that
horrible.
Oh my god, I didn't think about it. It's just that I saw it as an adult, obviously. Yeah. So I thought of it as an adult. It's like, Eric, okay, yeah.
You don't have kids. You can't give.
Yeah.
That is not how you raise kids. Oh, did you throw a tantrum and punch your brother in the face? It was just anger inside your head. No.
I see where you're
coming from. That's actually a good.
I still think that's not quite as extreme as that, but I also don't have kids, so you're fine. I will.
It's a good point. It's a good point. So it's a good point.
Right.
This movie is also going to teach kids that if you have a wish, steal it and then try to morally virtual signal the king, and then he's gonna go crazy and gonna start killing everyone.
I want to like the fact the play of like having a wish is so important and it brings joy to your life, and having a thing like I actually like that. I think that it would be cool, but I don't think I think that the other pieces of it ruin that ability for it to be an enjoyable. Oh, a dream is a wish your heart makes, and a wish because they do a lot of things where they're wanting to be like, look how special it is to have a wish, how good it makes you feel to have a wish. I'm like, cool, that would be a great message to have in there.
Yeah, and not only that, but
message, and it just bugged me that it took away from that.
Yeah, and then when she steals the wish from her grandfather,
guys got the comments today. Goodness.
Yeah, no, but I don't like the idea just the world building idea either, because like I think that runs contrary to the phrase "a dream is a wish your heart makes."
Yeah.
Because that's something that like you can achieve.
Right.
And
Well,
I don't have a wish,
here's
but I
You
just I
can
can't
achieve
do the
it,
work
yeah.
myself.
here's another interesting thing that I think that they missed out on, because again, I mentioned earlier they had this idea that like maybe after you've given away your wish at 18, you have a different wish as you've grown up a little bit and you've changed your worldview. They have one throwaway line that hints at that idea, and then also at one point the villain, he crushes the mom's wish so that her wish is gone, and you can see that she is affected by that. She's like, oh, it's so sad now that my wish no longer even exists. Not just that she had already given it away. Once it was crushed, it had an extra layer of hurting her. But
She has chest
there's that moment later on where everyone is like is saying, hey, we're going to stand up against this bad guy and do these, that is trying to do these terrible things. Their wishes come to them, they pull their wishes into them, they get a little light in here that kind of is representing the wish inside of them. The mom gets it too, even though her wish hadn't come back yet. At some point he regurgitates the wishes, and the people that he crushed got their wishes back, but she has a wish glow. And I'm like, you can have more than one wish.
Well,
So
I think that's what it alludes to at the end, is that
they
they
allude,
but
again, they
wish.
don't and not that I need them to do that, but they hint at it and they don't go that way. And because I'm frustrated, the other thing is it makes me feel like, to Alan's point of like the world building, the concept here needed just a little bit more refinement, because it just
Yeah.
You guys-
And
you guys wanna
okay,
get-
I can
guys
just talk about the ending, so we can just end with
yeah,
with
go
wish.
ahead.
Yeah,
Sure.
'cause I need
Because
to
it's
rant
the
about
most
Doctor Who,
annoying
so-
thing. Yeah, because it's the most annoying thing. Do you know how they beat the villain? She
Um,
starts singing.
They sing.
She starts
They-
singing. She's
sing.
in the floor. And she starts singing like, oh, but okay. I hate that they do
no.
this in movies. That everyone seems to have a freaking microphone or something because everyone can hear you.
Yeah,
But she starts
yeah.
singing like in the floor, like her voice is cracking. He's like, well, I
She's
wish,
sad about the thing, yeah.
See, I can
whatever,
relate,
right?
I can relate to that because bad music is my weakness too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
you know.
the,
But what
the
it is
bad
is
guy
everyone
hits
can
her.
hear him.
The bad guy hits her, and then the best friend starts singing the same thing that she's singing, even though that somehow she's listening to it, even though she's in the top of the biggest.
Angry Mexa, have you seen a
Building.
lot of musicals? Have you watched any musicals?
Yeah. I watch every. Yeah, but it's annoying. It's annoying. It has no,
Yeah.
no
This-
logic.
this
Okay,
is
you're just not a
super
musical
awesome.
fan.
Yeah,
I think
It's
yeah.
not
But
gonna bother me at all.
forget about that.
You're
Forget about that.
absolutely right.
They start
It's ridiculous,
singing the
but it's-
same thing, the same
Well, it's because they're
words.
unifying. They're unifying
But
Yeah.
how are
together,
they no, that
and
doesn't make
their
any sense. That
objective
doesn't make
becomes
any sense.
one to
The thing
defeat
is-
the
It
bad
made
guy.
sense
difference is
later
a
when they say
musical.
wish and wish and wish over and over again. Like when they say, I wish, I wish,
Jared.
I wish, I wish, I wish. That made
difference is-
sense. When they do that, makes sense, and that's when they all unite. But
Yeah.
they singing complete sentences, rhyming together at the same time. It's like, okay, come on. Like
That
you know,
doesn't bother me at all
a
because it is
musical
still like
implies-
but
that's
if
such
it's
a-
a musical, okay, I pass it. It's a musical,
Okay,
whatever.
but you don't have to justify it because a musical, if it's done right, implies internal monologue expressed outwardly. Right? The most musicals aren't saying, "Hey, this thing is actually happening."
It
on
depends on
stage.
if it's diegetic or not,
Everyone's-
because sometimes they are going to
Sometimes,
pretend like
but
that. Yeah.
most of the time, it's this. These are the internal thoughts of the character, but they're just singing them out loud.
Yeah,
but
like I
if
said-
the resolution, if the way you defeat the villain is everyone having an internal monologue together, that makes no sense.
Yes, it
I mean,
does.
everyone's
That's
singing.
all
That
about
they're-
musicals.
It's more that they're uniting together and standing up against him. So
Okay.
they're
And they're all singing.
they're uniting their hearts.
Yeah.
They're uniting their wishes. And
I haven't seen it because I don't want to. so
But they
if I
just
get
kill
it
kill the
wrong, forgive
wishes. But the guy just killed every wish before 1 second
had
before. He
all the
controlled
wishes.
every wish. He sucked
Oh,
every
yeah, they
wish and
went
he
dark,
sucked
but-
the star. That's why every wish became pale and there was nothing in the balls anymore. So now every wish is dead. But like you said, somehow they just restart
new
because the
wish
wish was because the idea of a wish is stupid. The idea of the wish is stupid. How do you go to lose the wish and then forget about the wish? But then if they kill your wish, you feel it, even though you forget you ever had the wish. So you never even have the ambition to pursue the things that you would even do, even though it can be big things like inspire people. This guy already inspired the younger generation when he inspired his granddaughter to be not an asshole. To be everything he says. Oh, my grandfather taught me that, and my grandfather said me that, and my grandfather is like that, and that's why I'm like this. You already inspired the younger generation, so your wish was granted from the beginning. So it makes no fucking sense. Sorry, I just had to say it. Yeah,
guy, it's probably something Freudian. I don't know.
Yeah, but he wanted
Oedipal complex, or I don't know.
Yeah, but he's playing Requinto at 100 years old at the end of the movie. It's like, yeah, of
it's
course,
a magical land. I'm fine.
And
with
then
that.
it's like, and the girl that wanted to fly, and the queen obviously is like queen boss now because she's like she rebelled. Do you agree that the way that they managed the partnership was beautiful at the beginning, and they did completely destroy it at the end?
Yeah, because they turn him so villainous, they also have her turn so hard against him.
Yeah,
and again, they have a line that says once you read in the Darkhold thing that it doesn't have a name. It's just the bad book, and so like I'm just going to call it Darkhold because that was a great comparison. But like, there's a line in there that like once you give into the dark magic, you can never be free. Okay, I feel like we've seen plenty of things where they're like, yeah, but we'll overcome this dark magic with the power of our love or our wishes or whatever. It could be a thing, but they really do, and they dive into it, and they even have that bit where she's singing at their rebellion meeting, saying like, "I've seen his goodness slide into evil," and it's like you've seen him be himself, which apparently was kind of a dick to begin with. Maybe, and then suddenly he gives into the Darkhold. Like
exactly. Yeah, I don't think he ever saw that. But he says he says that they build the kingdom together, and he's like,
they built the kingdom together.
Why do you abandon the mother lover when he becomes corrupted with the Darkhold? Yeah,
I just like that the main character turns into the fairy godmother at the end of the movie, which means eventually her skin color will change to white, which means that I can relate to her.
No, she's the multiversal fairy godmother, just like the Monica Rambeau. She's the Monica Rambeau. The Monica Rambeau.
And also, she's gonna get fat too. That's more relatability for me.
You're gonna be
here's the one other thing that I will say, because I am very much not prone to saying, "Oh, that's woke. This is woke," that sort of stuff. It made it real hard not to
get ready because we're gonna watch some Doctor Who clips next.
Yeah, it was not woke, but it was raw
color female, and it's all these, and the one white guy in power is the one that they're taking down. I don't think that everything is. I think that a lot of you guys are a little bit too eager to call things woke, and I'm not saying that's all that was going on here, but boy, it certainly got a little harder to feel like there wasn't some specific feeling like, well, we want to have it set up this way.
Base.
I really hate doing that because I don't want to lean into that. But
the problem is never that female characters exist, Jared. The problem is when that's the only priority, right? There's tons of female characters that I like. There's tons of female empowerment characters that I can't get enough of. Okay, and the problem is when the priority is check boxes and diversity instead,
there's a bajillion examples of times
good storytelling. That's when you get stuff like this.
There's a bajillion examples where I have heard you guys call it out as being woke, and I completely disagree. I'm like, I don't know, it's fine. And I even think that there's room to say, hey, let's work for having a little bit more diversity in this thing or diversity in that thing.
Right.
As long as you're putting the story first. Like, sure, go ahead and put all those things in. This one. Again, maybe I was just too off put by the villain, but it got a lot harder.
We're gonna play a game now. We're gonna play a game now. Let's see if Jared can justify this, and we're gonna be watching clips from Doctor Who. Mark Clark, thank you so much
but Jared become base today, brother.
Bearded has been black-pilled, everybody.
He became base today, brother. Welcome to the Legion.
That's when you fall into despair, and you think there's no hope.
It happens every now and then. I wanted to like this so much more.
I couldn't believe that this was the one.
Did anybody else watch Next Goal Wins?
No, was it good?
I enjoyed it. You'd probably hate it because there's a good, strong transgender through line in it because apparently one of the players in the game that they're depicting was the first transgender player or whatever. Beyond that, it was your typical sports story movie, and I thought it was pretty well done.
It looks like the kind of movie that he's good at making.
Yeah,
right?
I think he did an okay job.
Hunt for the Wilder People or Jojo Rabbit, like when he's in his
Didn't blow me out of the
zone,
water.
Taika Waititi can make really good movies.
Mhm.
The problem
Hunger
is
Games? You're talking
when
Hunger
he's in
Games?
charge of Star Wars and he intentionally says, "I'm going to make a movie that's going to piss people off because I don't care about the source material." Right?
Yeah. So that's just my thought. I wasn't blown away. It wasn't amazing, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a fun one. Mostly great stuff, and I didn't even mind the. I learned some things about the American Samoan culture that I thought was really kind of interesting. I thought it was good. Yeah, that's all. I just figured I'd toss that one out there because that was one other thing that I saw. Just kind of that warning if that's something that's gonna set you off with it is a good through line of it.
It showed in the trailer there was a trans character. I'm like,
yeah,
I wish it wasn't there, but the movie might still be enjoyable.
Let me know if you end up watching it and what you think about the rest of it.
Which movie?
Next Goal Wins. It's Taika Waititi's newest movie.
Yeah, Next Goal
Wins. The trailers look good.
It was okay. It was.
Definitely, he's a good movie maker. He's definitely a good movie maker.
When he went, sometimes.
No, he's a movie maker. Right. I didn't say a writer. Yeah. I didn't say movie maker.
That's it. Yes. There you go. Okay.
Filmmaker is a word.
We got to move
on to Doctor Who.
We got to move on to Doctor Who. Okay, so for context, if you're not a Doctor Who boy, Doctor Who used to be great and awesome, and now for the last 5 years or so, it's been taken over by Chris Chibnall. It's been longer than 5 years, hasn't it? Because he's so bad at producing the show, it took him like 7 years to produce 3 seasons of television. So for the last 3 seasons, which has taken way longer than 3 years, Chris Chibnall has been in charge with the Jodie Whittaker Doctor, and they've lost their entire audience. No one is watching Doctor Who anymore. It was literally on the verge of cancellation, and the only way they could save it is say it was, okay, let's bring back Russell T Davies as showrunner, the guy who did everyone's favorite Doctor, David Tennant, and let's just give him full reins, and maybe, just maybe, he can save the franchise. Well, he didn't. This is the first episode with David Tennant, and it's gross. So like, this is supposed to be, hey, all you people who stopped watching, we brought back David Tennant. These are my keys. I'm jangling them. Okay. We brought back David Tennant. Come back. Come watch our show, please. We brought back Russell T Davies and David Tennant. Okay. So if you were the showrunner, you would try to appeal to the people that you've lost, right? You would try and bring them back.
Well, or
would you just double down and insult them? Right? If you're trying to revitalize a show that's lost all of its viewers, do you A, insult your core audience, or B, pander to them?
Well, I'd say you probably either do that or you try to find a new core audience.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing for the last 6 years.
And they failed. Yeah,
that's true.
You can't find a new audience for a show like Doctor Who. Is like saying find a new audience for One Piece. Although they kind of did with One Piece. Not gonna lie. With One Piece they did it, but One Piece was just a special thing. Okay. This is not One Piece.
This is like a couple of seconds into the episode. You have the Doctor who reincarnated from Jodie Whittaker back into David Tennant for no reason. It's not really explained. So he's David Tennant again, and then he shows up. This is literally just this has nothing to do with the episode. It's just like a funny cameo thing. He ends up creating the Daleks. He shows up and meets Davros before he was crippled, because you're not allowed to have characters in wheelchairs anymore. And
to be evil.
He gives them the name of the Daleks. He names them because the guy's like, oh, I didn't know that they were called Daleks, and he ends up handing them
Based. Can't.
he hands them the plunger because he accidentally broke the arm that was originally on them, so that's why they look silly with plungers. Well, it's stupid, okay? But this is like one of the first lines delivered in the show. Can you guys hear this?
Yeah. Yeah.
The volume? Okay. This is like basically the first thing you hear him say.
Hello. Just passing by because I got a bit lost. It's funny. 60 minutes ago, I was this really brilliant woman. And now I've got this old face back again. I mean, why?
So we're starting off real strong. Wow, I used to be this wonderful character that everyone loved, I promise. And now I've got this lame old face on. Literally everyone's favorite doctor, except for mine. I think Matt Smith is a better doctor. I love David Tennant, but if you polled the audience, I think 80% would answer David Tennant was the best. Or the favorite.
It would be close, yeah.
This is how we're starting. Hey, I used to be smarter and now I'm dumb.
Well, yeah, because it kind of feels like they're like, oh, well, of course, this is why it's David Tennant now. You know, it kind of feels like that's them trying to explain it, and it doesn't make sense. Or not explain it, but like laugh about it. Be like, oh, yeah, we went back.
Yeah, and it's a bad way of doing it.
And they're trying to insult the audience. I mean, the actual Doctor Who audience by saying, "Hey, we're doubling down on Joey Whittaker."
Yeah, bad news if you like Tom Baker, because they also did stuff with him. I think that's the one. Hold on. Yeah. Oh no, not Tom Baker. It was the other actor. They brought him back for. Oh, we'll get into it later. Okay, so then this is like 10 minutes into the episode. It's about an alien. It's E.T. The episode is literally just E.T. except a little bit different. And this is him talking to E.T.
Yes, the meat. I promise I can help him get home, and then you'll never see me again.
You're assuming he as a pronoun.
True. Yes. Sorry. Good point. Are you he or she or they?
My chosen pronoun is the definite article. I am always the me.
Jared, woke or not woke?
Which Jared you talking to? Me?
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'll roll with it. I'm not gonna hate it. It's fine.
Come on, that was.
It is also an
egregious.
Alien, so sure, whatever.
First of all, the entire scene is written for that purpose. Like the sentence in I'm a Mexican, so you know, I don't know that much English, but I'm pretty sure that this sentence would not make any sense.
It doesn't.
If the context was not there, obviously, that they were trying to infer that he was a he, you know, that they purposely wanted for him to say that he was a he for she or he or it because he's a transgender woman.
This is also a man, by the way.
Oh,
in case
biological man. Yeah. And so that's why they put that phrase there, because there was an article that said that this episode of Doctor Who was a TERF's worst nightmare.
Yes, TERF's worst nightmare. This episode is literally all about trans stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I've got my own feelings and thoughts to a certain degree, but at the same time, it's fine.
And you can hear the ugly fat British woman behind the booth when she's like, "Well, my preferred pronoun is actually the
and then this is how the episode ends, just crapping all over David Tennant's doctor, because they brought back Donna, and the man pretending to be a woman is apparently Donna's son, who looks nothing like Donna.
I mean, daughter, but yeah, pretend daughter.
It's his son. But
I mean, it's a boy, but yeah, I would say it's daughter. Yeah.
So then this is the resolution. The doctor doesn't save the day. Donna and her whatever offspring save the day by ding 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 insulting all men and literally the fan favorite doctor. Here we go.
And doing
It's turned way down for some reason.
Yes, we know.
We know everything. Thanks.
And you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore.
We know everything and you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. They brought back David Tennant for this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be realistic, if it was a woman, they would hate each other. So I don't think it's that much realistic.
Though. It keeps going.
Well, the problem with that is that they're blatantly they're blatantly stating it, right? Like it's fun.
Right.
Like here's some things. There's some things that you see in film that sometimes it alludes to that, but they are blatantly saying, "Oh yeah, you're just stupid. Like we know everything, and you're inferior." And that's what's frustrating about this whole debate. That's got everybody up in arms is when people say this sort of thing with either side or either gender or either person, is when they blatantly say this is how it should be.
What's more infuriating is that it's Donna saying it to David Tennant. Like, Donna is wonderful. Everyone loved her as a companion. And it's her saying this to David Tennant.
And I'll even say too, like I as a man have often taken shots at the idea that men are idiots. And we do this or we do there's that level of things versus this. This is a much more. We know you don't. You're dumb. We're smart.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on.
Anymore? She'd have understood.
We've got all that power.
Okay, right. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore because she would have understood, and you're a stupid man, so you don't. All right.
It's the same freaking being.
It's a shame you're not a woman anymore.
Yeah, they're the same person. They have the same collective knowledge. Okay?
Thing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. She'd have understood.
We've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Male presenting Time Lord?
First off, he's being told this by a man. Okay? And by the way, this character is in a wheelchair, which I thought you couldn't do anymore.
Do you have the scenes? Do you have the scenes with the wheelchair?
She's sitting in a wheelchair right now.
No. You have the scenes with the wheelchair?
No.
Do you not know what I'm talking about?
Okay. Share it with me.
I'm gonna. Oh my god.
Okay, but here's the rest of this scene though.
Just let it go, and we choose to let it go.
Yes, we know.
Wait, what just happened there at the end?
I don't know. I didn't watch the episode, so I don't know the context. They have power and they're letting it go, apparently.
They did the Jedi Whittaker, right?
Oh, please tell me it's Davros's old wheelchair. They put the girl in it. No, she's got some weird thing. This is the new character this is the new person in charge of unit.
Out. For the love of God, check this out. You're not gonna believe this. You're not. If you thought everything. Yeah. You want me to share my screen?
I have no idea where David is. So.
I sent it to you through DM.
Oh, on Twitter? Okay.
Yeah, Twitter.
Okay, now I'm gonna pull it up privately.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is just,
Isn't it called X now?
Whatever.
But
it's dumb. X is the dumbest. X is the dumbest thing I ever happened ever. Yeah, I hate it.
No, I saw it because it started auto playing. Oh,
no. Yeah. I couldn't believe that was real.
Oh no!
You have to show it. You have to show it, bro.
Okay. Right,
oh my lord! You have not. Any of you have not watched this, right?
No.
No.
I will never watch.
Get ready.
I will never watch this episode, but okay, like it. It's really good. The genesis of the Daleks is him showing up and the guy is building the Dalek, but he knocks the arm off and he says, "Oh my goodness, is that a Dalek?" And the guy says, "Oh, Dalek, that's a good name. I'm going to write that down." And then David Tennant bumbles for a while and then gives him a plunger to add on as the arm instead of the arm that he knocked off. It's retarded.
But this is even more retarded.
This is pretty bad.
Evening, boys. I don't just play a dance, mate.
Look at this.
Evening, boys.
When she
A little goofy with the first one. The second one, I'm going to take some physics issues with.
Yeah.
Well,
How? Like, you know, first of all, it's in the same row. The two daggers in the same row. The two darts.
And they spread
So
out.
he shoots them, but they are in a different angle.
They're heat seeking, is what they are.
They're in a different angle. Yeah,
sure.
Heat seeking, and then
she's got more darts on this side. Look, she's got more compartments.
Yeah,
that's the same side. I think.
Oh my gosh!
And then she pushes. But where did she shoot them? But where did she shoot them? They didn't even show where they shoot the. Okay, but.
Okay, now I gotta watch this episode now. This is hilarious. Oh man!
Oh my lord! Oh my lord!
You're gonna be all right, Mixa.
Oh, it doesn't seem 88.
He ain't
It's
compliant.
just that the physics don't make any freaking sense, man. The rocket comes out of the wheelchair and it explodes a wall.
I don't know. You
And
could
she
see
doesn't
something like
move
that
at all.
The
Like, I'm
propulsion-
sorry,
the
equal and opposite
propulsion alone,
reactions.
the
Come on.
ricochet alone. The ricochet alone from a
The
gun.
recoil, yeah.
The ricochet from a gun that is a projectile that is like 1,000 times smaller than a rocket.
This is literally this is Scott Pilgrim all over again. They're like, hey,
No. Scott Pilgrim is smarter than this. Come on. They don't have a wheelchair lady
Oops, no, we're just
shooting
gonna flip you off.
poison darts and rockets out of her
Come back to
wheelchair
David Tennant.
because it is
No.
woke as heck. This is the wokest thing that I've seen in my entire life. Oh my god. Yeah, give it everyone can fight. Yeah, oh my lord.
I can't believe they have the audacity to have a man say
Me
that.
cago en la puta madre.
She iron wheels. Imagine being okay. It's not popping up. I can't bring. Okay, there's a delay with the comments. It's so I saw it on YouTube and I couldn't bring it up yet. Imagine being British and knowing your taxes are paying for this trash. Except I don't know if they are anymore because I think Disney is funding it now, right?
No, they are paying for this. BBC is still this
BBC
one.
still involved? Yeah.
Yeah, this was full BBC. This was not Disney at all. This is not in Disney Channel.
Here's the justification. It was one moment that lasted 30 seconds. First off, it wasn't one moment. It was peppered throughout the entire thing, right? And you're letting one moment ruin a very good.
It is the
episode.
finale.
I'm sorry. It was a beautiful dish with just a tiny piece of poop right in the middle, and it was just so. It was 30 seconds small, right? Like what? You don't have to subject yourself to this crap. And this was his response, Russell T. Davis. Shame on you and good luck in your lonely lives. Anyone who disliked this episode. And the comments are absolutely golden. I'm heartbroken that the man who created the first TV scene of an adult man rimming a teenage boy doesn't like my views on safeguarding children. Russell T. Davis has always been woke and gross. It's just that he's also been a good writer. And when he was writing stuff for Doctor Who before, they had rules. And now he's just allowed to do whatever he wants. And
And
so
probably he was smoking just pot and not hook in any of the pills that he's probably. You have to remember all these people are hook on drugs. Like
we aren't we aren't the ones who have lonely lives. We aren't the ones continually demanding attention and validation and forcing everyone to acknowledge these lies.
Mhm.
And we won't bother watching Doctor Who any longer. Yeah, everyone.
I've never seen anyone but the showrunner of Primos, but that's a different breed of human being. But I never seen anyone respond to people giving you criticism of this guy. This guy is severely traumatized. This guy needs some therapy for real.
No, and like a lot of his shows are just blatant homosexual pornography. Like his queer as folk is very gross.
I don't see any gay stuff, so I wouldn't know.
I didn't watch it. Okay, but this is not made up. He created the first TV scene of pedophilia.
What?
He's yes.
Oh, I didn't get that. Oh, I didn't get that. Oh, I understand what it said. Oh, now I freaking understand what it meant.
I don't know which show specifically this came from because he has a lot of them like this. Right.
Jesus.
So
Probably any Netflix shows. Probably any Netflix show nowadays.
this was the BBC statement on it. This special is preachy, and by the end, little more than a delivery system for the message. And that was Nerdrotic's review of the episode. He's like, "Yep, what you said. That's my thoughts." It's disgusting. It's so sad what's happened to them. And they're trying to play it off as a win because it got 5 million views, which is surprise, surprise. It's only half of what the show used to pull in, and you know that it's a gimmick because we brought back David Tennant, and now no one's going to care anymore.
Yeah, it should be double. Like
This
it
is
should
the
be
60th anniversary special.
exactly.
The 50th had 10, and he got the number wrong. So Master of the TDS got it right. He said it was 5.8, but it's 5.08. Anyway, that's fine.
5.0. Yeah, that's even worse.
Before the episode came out, they did this as well. This isn't an episode of Doctor Who. It's a special kind of like behind the scenes thing.
Yeah, transition for the Disney one.
What?
It's a transition for the Disney one, right?
Yeah. So this used to be Matt Smith, and they digitally erased him and replaced him with Nkuti Gatwa.
What an ugly name this guy has.
Just
and it looks like they are cruising. I don't know what to tell you, but it looks really weird. They have like weird. This guy gives you like these weird looks, like winks at you. Like he's really creepy. That guy is creepy. I don't like him as a. I don't like him as a doctor at all. He's creepy. He doesn't have the same uplifting childlike energy of the rest of the childlike wonder energy of the rest of the doctors that I've seen. At least Tennant is a master. It's sad that they did this to him in probably his last. I don't think he's gonna come back. I probably think that he read the script, it was different, he signed the deal, and then they changed the script.
Yeah, he's only going to be in like 3 episodes, and then it's going to shift to Nkuti Gatwa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nerdrotic is literally just quoting the BBC.
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch the other episodes of this trash.
I'm absolutely furious. It's
Tennant is woke as hell, and that's sad too. That's sad too. But what do you expect about British people? It's really hard to find based British.
I know they used to be kind of based, but not anymore.
And more the Irish. Yeah, those guys are really based.
Yeah, no, David Tennant is complicit in this. He knew what he was signing up for with Russell T Davies. Like and David Tennant has like I've soured on him.
Well, then he's a piece of shit.
But you guys want to see a really funny article?
Sure.
Moving on from Doctor Who because I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's dead to me.
Yeah, that's
and it's being distributed to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's switching. So
since 2024. Yeah, from 2024 now.
Why the Marvels director Nia DaCosta bailed on the cast and crew screening. But then the subtitle gets even better. The cast had a good excuse for also missing the event. But what about the director? This is literally the Ryan Long video we watched last week.
Yeah, I want to watch it, but
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
So the strike ended on November 8th, and the screening was at 7 p.m. But you have to wait until 12:01 a.m. before you can participate in studio events. This is like the biggest. This is the stupidest thing I've read in a long time.
Yeah, this girl was out of there. Like this girl was out of that movie. Like when they went through the third reshoot, she was like, "No, I'm out of there."
I hate SAG-AFTRA. I think that they shouldn't exist, and I don't like writers. And like this is literally like mob stuff. This is protection money. And I don't think she wanted to go to the premiere.
It is. Yeah.
It's an excuse.
She was already filming another movie. Yeah, another flop probably.
Yeah.
I heard the movie sucked, so I didn't go. Said to go.
Off the record, Acosta said.
Are we getting a review of Dragonsteel? I already talked about it a little bit. We're getting and depending on how long this stream goes, you'll get a video tomorrow if I can stay awake long enough to edit it. Dragonsteel was pretty great. A couple more news things. The Witcher creator, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, Andra something, said Netflix never listened to his feedback on the live series. And then someone literally took this article and tried to spin it, but I couldn't find it. I thought I said it to myself, I didn't find it, but we all knew that. It's not news. George R. R. Martin, this was, I heard this today, and it's crazy because IGN is even ripping into George R. R. Martin. Today, or this month, he said that he's written 1,100 pages of of Winds of Winter, which is the exact same amount he said he had written last year.
Maybe he rewritten some.
In her defense, if the studio had pushed it back maybe 5 times, I'd be done with it too. Yeah, well, it's her fault for making it so bad they had to push it back 5 times.
Yeah, there was other things that were involved in that too. But, yeah.
Have we seen the Madam Web trailer? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It looks really bad. One more. You can understand her frustration. Yeah, sure. I don't. She's not blameless though. Okay, this one's fun. Here's a bit of levity because that was. I got to share the sound. That was a rough. That was tough to get through. So now you get something funny, which made me. It made me chuckle mucho gusto. This is hilarious and I love it. Here we go.
Awesome.
This kicks like a mule with his balls wrapped in duct tape.
Like, I will always laugh at a Breaking Bad meme, but this is almost as good as the Hell's Kitchen Tuco Salamanca memes, which are just
yeah, I prefer the Gordon Ramsay cooking the stones.
The crushing the stones making it glow. That was
yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Blue, yellow, pink. Whatever, man. Just keep bringing me that.
Seeing that line works in the
Blue, yellow,
context.
pink, yep.
Come on, people are so cool. I love people that do this kind of crap.
That's funny.
I don't even know who you are. Damn, man, look at that! Look! I knew it. Nobody moves crystal in the South Valley but me, bitch!
I love people. That gives me a little bit of hope, you know?
Pretty funny.
Wow.
If you want to know about Malaweb, check my Malaweb review in my channel. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Check it out. I'm not gonna watch it for some reason.
Yeah,
this guy
obviously.
is. So watch his review. Oh, we got a couple Screen Rants bad takes, and we've got Invincible. So let's go bad takes. We should have done news first, but we got wrapped up. Okay, here we go. Here's some. I gotta do the stinger because I made it. So here we go.
Screen Rants. Bad takes.
Okay, a Screen Rant is running cover for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because the movie broke a box office record for week 2 because it's doing so well. What's the record, everybody?
For the least amount.
The least amount of
No.
dropping.
It's the smallest.
The smallest drop.
Weekend drop.
The smallest second week drop. Okay, this.
Oh, the franchise only.
Yeah, of the franchise only.
The franchise. This is not a box office record. Okay, this is 5 movies.
It does clarify at the beginning. It is a Hunger Games franchise box office record.
I know, but
it's the
way that
lowest.
it's phrased. This is intellectual dishonesty.
Yeah.
This is hey guys, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is doing really good. Make sure you go see it. It's a lie. Plus, you take into consideration that the second week is Thanksgiving, like one of the week where everyone goes and sees movies, and it still had a 40% drop. Like
that's still that's good anytime. I think really
it's good. Okay. But just wait till you see week 3. Like, this is not a win. This is not a win. It had the lowest opening of the Hunger Games and the smallest second week drop because it was Thanksgiving, and because week 1 was so low, it didn't have to. It didn't have to.
Ding, ding. That's the one. Yep.
But that's how they're going to justify to their investors to make a second movie.
This is
because that's why they released it 1 week before Thanksgiving, so they could say, "Oh, there was not a big drop, and we dominated the Thanksgiving weekend, even though there was nothing else good to watch other than Napoleon." But that was R-rated, so it's hard to.
The problem is though that they're not set up for a sequel for this at all.
No, they don't have any.
They came out with the book, and they told the whole book in this one movie. Which honestly, that was one of the weaknesses of the book were exaggerated by the fact that they had to fit it all into one movie because
it was really dumb. You had to do that in one
was
movie.
Not great.
It would have been perfect for multiple movies.
This one could have been 2 movies, but I do get it because there's also if they were to be like, oh, we're breaking this book up into 2 movies, especially because the last one that they broke up into 2 movies, they're like, you're just doing this for trying to gouge us for money. So I get them maybe being a little trigger shy of trying to break books up into 2 movies.
Oh,
this is one that they should have. Another one they should have done it to is they should have done it to Ender's Game. Ender's Game should have been 3 movies.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can go on that rant
It
another
should
time.
have been a TV show.
Oh, but the Ender's Game, Ender's Game is another pack of worms that we don't. A kind of worms that we don't want to.
She wrote the book to turn it into a movie. Yes.
Yes.
True. This
because
is true.
she ran out of money.
Again, it was such a full story. Like it had a lot of logical breaking points to it as well. There was so much to it that if you want to tell it well, you should tell it in a couple of movies. But you're right; she did write it to make it into a movie. They were kind of part and parcel. So it's kind of interesting that they failed on that.
I think the best way to tell Ender's Game is in flashbacks in a TV show. The TV
Yeah.
show needs to be not Children of the Mind. The TV show needs to be the second book. And I'm brain farting.
Yeah, Speaker for the Dead. There we go.
The TV show needs to be Speaker for the Dead, Xenocide, and Children of the Mind. You get 3 seasons, and Ender's Game is peppered throughout the whole thing. That's how you tell Ender's Game.
I could get behind that maybe, but I just love the story of Ender's Game so much, and it is one of those ones that has a difficult time.
But
with
it's hard to adapt.
Internal dialogue and stuff. Yeah,
but if you break it up, I think it works. There's a lot of parallels that you can show him in the past and then show him in the future. It needs to be done simultaneously with Speaker for the Dead.
Not a bad idea.
Trust me, it works. I've thought about this profusely.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it's just so funny. Screen Rant's dumb, and they're obviously running cover, and screw them. But they can't even bring themselves to run cover for the Marvels because
breaking another unfortunate MCU record.
Right? The Marvels also breaks a record, but it's a bad one.
Breaking another negative franchise record.
It's what is it specifically? The second week drop. Yeah, we knew that.
78.
Third week, it's no longer in the top 5 because you have Thanksgiving. You have Thanksgiving, Trolls 3, Wish, Napoleon, and the Hunger Games on top of the Marvels. So it's the quickest MCU movie to leave
Trolls
the
3.
top 5.
Oh, Trolls 3 too, yeah.
And dropping 78.1%.
That was week 2, yeah. That's
awful.
The week 2 drop.
Oh, that's
that was week 2.
Wow.
Yeah, you're not even accounting week 3. We're still to see week 3.
No, we have it.
Oh, we have it?
Oof.
Hold on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's incredible. I don't even know what else is in the movie theater right now to even compare it to the Marvels, right? Like what is in the 8th place? I mean in the 6th and 8th, 7 and 8.
So week 2 was 78, week 3 was a
37 from
40,
there.
So.
Yeah, but it's like 100 and and
And
10
it lost 1,000.
115.
So yeah, there's absolutely no way that this movie
How much money
breaks.
Oh my lord.
I'm surprised it's only that far below that projected shaded area.
That is really well, yeah.
They are in big trouble. But even in this article, throwing shade at the Marvels, they got to backpedal. Is the Marvels just a blip, or the beginning? The beginning of a trend. No, the Marvels is the middle of a trend.
Is the peak? Is the peak?
No, it's gonna get worse. We still haven't seen Black Shit America.
Oh, New World Order.
That movie's gonna be way worse than this one.
They had to change the name. Remember?
Yeah. From New World Order to something else that I
to something less.
The Marvels is not the beginning of a trend. It is following a trend downward because MCU.
But it's great. It feels good. It's great.
It does feel good. It's also simultaneously probably what caused the Mistborn adaptation to fall through the ground. But it's okay.
Is it though?
I'll take in combination with seeing Star Wars and Marvel and all of the strikes.
Oh, everything,
all of that stuff tanked the Brandon Sanderson deal, but it's okay because it means the deal we're going to get is going to be even better, and Brandon Sanderson is even more reserved, and he's going to keep more control. So, Black in America will beat the Marvels. You think so? I doubt it.
I bet it will.
No, I can't see it doing better. No, it's not.
How can
making a Captain America movie without Captain America?
No, never mind that. But like the Falcon is not the most popular character, and who else is in that movie? Like the girl with the weird titties, like
Harrison Ford.
Harrison
Ford's going to be in that.
Oh, he's 90. Like he probably passes away before the freaking movie even releases.
Ender's Game
Maybe.
should be an anime. Honestly, I would not say no to an animation of
Same.
Ender's Game.
Yep.
But
That
it
sounds like
should,
a
it
good
should be
idea.
told like The Sopranos.
The Mao.
The Wheel of Time tank to the Mistborn deal. The failure of the Wheel of Time. Yeah, maybe.
I guess, but
It's a combination of a lot of things. Like Hollywood is scared right now, and rightly
you
so.
got
But it means that they have to be smarter, which I will take. I will take a smart deal over a fast deal.
I
Falcon
think
is-
Black America is gonna do the same
Falcon is
amount of
way more
money
popular than Brie
than the
Larson. I don't
Marvels.
know. I don't know. I think people are going to
No.
be soured. I don't think Captain America
Because
3.
Brie Larson is popular with the people that hate Marvel but hate the Marvel fans, but they pretend to be Marvel fans and shield for them, but they are just shielding for Disney. And the people that love Falcon is people that like Captain America and like him as a character, as a side character, but not as a
That took me real. It's you got to do better, Senator. Yeah.
You gotta do better, Senator.
What should we do? I don't know. Do better.
But do better.
Harrison Ford. No, Harrison Ford's in the Captain America movie. He's the new whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's whatever. He's dead.
Didn't we just do this last week, or was it 2 weeks ago?
I think we did it like a month ago too.
A long time
It
ago.
was a month ago, but also 2 weeks ago, and now once again we have the same article written by Screen Rant. 8 things Rings of Power does better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies, and David sent me this article. So I
actually like the subtitle on this too, because it's no screen adaptation isn't perfect, and there are a few ways.
Nothing's perfect, guys.
There are a few ways that the Rings of Power pulled off Tolkien's work better than. Oh, sorry, maybe I misread something. I thought it was like, and there's maybe a couple ways that even this thing that was terrible, like the way it was phrased to me, seemed like this thing that was terrible might have done a couple of things better than this thing that was amazing. Like the way it was framed made me think that they were kind of actually admitting that this one was terrible and like, hey, in spite of the fact that this one was bad,
well,
maybe there were some things that did better. Yeah,
it's full of lies, though. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Rings of Power makes Sauron a more interesting character. This is the same point from last one. No, it's not. He's not more interesting as an incel. No, that's not Sauron. It's also not accurate. Elrond is better because he's nicer and less critical. But
he's younger, and that following a different, filling a different role.
I can't even say that the actor is better. I mean, the actor is really good, but the actor from the original Elrond, holy.
Oh, I know. I can't believe that was an actual line from the show. Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
Give me a meat.
Give it to me raw. The dwarves aren't just comic relief in Rings of Power.
They aren't?
No, they're the funniest part of the show. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
This one actively pisses me off. The orcs look fantastic. No, they don't. They look horrible.
I mean, the one in the left.
One close-up image, I think, looks.
Yeah, the one in the left. But that's the only
Practical
one.
effects have come a long way since the Lord of the Rings. Then why don't you use them?
Yeah, this is CGI with a practical effect is just the head. But yeah, I remember doing the edits for the Rings of Power, and they were like 3 decent looking orcs that they were all CGI.
This one looked good.
Yeah, this one
The rest
and the
looked
other one that died, the one that died when they were doing the whole thing with the guy. Yeah.
They're all white for some reason. Metaphor, I don't know. But this one got all the close-ups because they had the one that was fighting the kid. Who cares? I don't know what his name is. But yeah. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings ruined Isildur. Did you know that? And this version is more faithful to Tolkien canon.
How did it ruin Isildur? What?
Well, he was never meant to be a villain. He's not a villain. He's not a villain.
They didn't make him out to be a villain. They made him out to be a
But that's not how Lord of the Rings movies would tell it. Did you watch them? because that's not how they told it.
He was
He's
corrupted.
not a
That's it.
villain. He's a hero who falls short.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Yes, he's meant to be a cautionary tale, which is how
And
they
that's
told it.
absolutely what came through in the movies. Yeah.
Meanwhile, but this Isildur is more faithful to Tolkien canon by not being faithful to Tolkien canon at all.
The other thing is that they're kind of framing it as though this, like, his decision the man to just give an evil smile and refuse to give it up entirely is entirely unique to Jackson's film. They make it seem like that was a flaw of his own character to begin with, not a manifestation of the fact that he'd been corrupted by the ring. Like,
I don't care. I don't give a crap. The elves have more variety, right? Because
diversity, yeah,
you made them black
and gay,
and gay.
Okay, fine, but also that's not more true to Tolkien.
That doesn't mean it's better,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean it's faithful. It's more diverse. Great. That doesn't mean that it's better. Diversity is fine, but it should not be your focus. Focus on storytelling.
It is not the only measure of goodness.
And the Rings of Power covers more stories at once, which somehow translates to that's better.
Which also, I don't think they did a
Lord of
great
the Rings was
job.
limited by its movie format. No, it was limited by its source material because it wanted to be faithful to the source material.
And it actually
You
had
know what the
freaking
Lord of the
source
Rings
material.
movies didn't do? They didn't tell multiple stories at once and give us backstories to characters that didn't exist and didn't matter, like they did in Ding 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 the Hobbit, and everyone hated it. The fake elf gets more screen time than Bilbo, and people hated it. But it makes it better, everybody. It makes it better. Anyway, there's one more article, which I thought was hilarious. The way you choose to carry your child might be racist.
Everything is racist. Everything is now white supremacy. When everything is racist, then nothing will be.
That's it. That's the news. I don't care what this is.
Mhm.
This is retarded.
It is.
Anyway, Dragonsteel was really cool. It was actually mind blowing.
All right, guys. Before you get into it, I gotta leave because I gotta do some shorts. Thank you so much for having me again, and see you next week.
Thanks for sacrificing your body and watching Wish.
I was enjoyable. Not gonna lie, it was funny to make fun of it.
Yeah, I don't think we have like anything to talk about next week, so I might go see Napoleon.
Yeah, we can talk about Napoleon or anything. Yeah.
Try to catch that one. I'll try to also catch Killers of the Flower Moon too.
What did I have on
Yeah,
really
maybe
good.
there's more cringe things about Doctor Who. Who knows?
Well,
We'll see you next week.
I don't think there's a new episode next week because this was a holiday special.
Okay. Well, we'll see in the week what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe just news or something. Yeah.
We'll still be here. There will be plenty of news.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I think it's just Napoleon. Yeah, there's literally a bye week. We need to do the Year of Sanderson eventually. So.
All right. Well, see you guys. Have a great week.
Can't wait for Rebel Moon. That's the only thing that I'm excited for.
True that.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about Dragonsteel, but before you get into Invincible, I'll probably dip out. So,
okay.
Anything that you have to say on Dragonsteel?
Okay, Dragonsteel was amazing. There was like I think they said like 6,000 or 7,000 attendees, and last year it was like 3.
Yeah, they've opened it up because they had limited it before.
It was huge,
and it was still limited this year too. They're opening it up even more next year, I think.
Next year they're expecting 12,000 people because of how it's been growing exponentially, and also it's the last.
This is Stormlight,
right? Or
this is Stormlight, like
last,
yeah.
Right? You need to watch Invincible. It's very good, except for one stupid thing that they kind of fixed in season 2, so I'm okay with it now. Dragonsteel was incredible. Last year there were maybe like 10 or 15 booths with independent authors. This year there were 50. It was insane. Like you couldn't. I was not prepared, and I should have had more money to spend on books.
How dare you?
I don't know. It was ethereal. It was indescribable. Just the energy that was at Dragonsteel, and all of these people are here for a stupid author. It's just a guy who writes books, and this is like it's more exciting than Comic-Con. The energy there was palpable. I stood, not for this sweater, but I have a Christmas sweater, which I'll wear next week because it's December. I had to wait 3 hours in line just to get into the Brandon Sanderson store, which last year was just part of the exhibit hall. They had like 9, it was like the size of 9 regular booths, but just pushed together. And the line wrapped, like at its longest, wrapped around the booth once. Like the whole 9 squares.
Yeah.
Right? A square.
That was last year.
It took 2 hours. It wasn't full 3 hours. It took 2 hours to get into the store and then 1 hour to check out.
Wow.
There were so many people just wanting to buy stupid crap from a guy who writes books. If Hollywood doesn't sign a movie deal with this guy, they're insane. And we already know they are insane, but maybe there are a few people out there still that still have integrity.
One of my favorite things right now.
This doesn't exist. Like this, it felt fake. It's not. This has never, something like this has never existed in the past, and it doesn't feel like it should exist now. Like even like the hype for Tolkien, right? There wasn't like this. Tolkien's fantastic and will never die, right? Everyone loves him. But like, it was just like a community. I don't know. It was so crazy. I talked while waiting in line. I made friends with a couple who named their kid Dazen from Lightbringer.
Dazen from Lightbringer. By the way, I'm in book now.
Literally just talked to them for 2 hours.
That's awesome.
Hilarious.
I'm in book 3 now. It
3?
is a very solid series. Like,
yeah,
I do still sometimes run into an issue where like I am not as motivated to get to that next, like to pick up listening again.
I ate it up.
Because it's such a long. They're long books. They're Sanderson-sized books. You know, the audiobook for the second one I think was 24 hours. The audiobook for the third one is 29 hours. So they are big books. But the world is very well developed and very well put together. The magic system is very interesting. The characters are very intriguing. Yeah, very, very good stuff. I'm enjoying it so far. I will say the one thing is that Kip is a little too, like, and I'm not saying it's unrealistic too. I'd actually say it's very realistic, but it's a little frustrating how much he's just sure that everything he's doing is absolutely wrong. And is causing a bigger problem or is being a bigger problem.
No, dude, that's realistic.
No. I'm not saying it's not realistic. In fact, I agree.
It's so well written. Yeah.
I agree that it's very realistic.
It's hard to read.
It's just very frustrating to read.
It's hard to read because of how real it is. You're like, oh man, just cheer up. Oh wait, but why don't I do that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's my only complaint.
Come on,
so
man.
far.
Look up, man. You're not that bad. Oh wait.
Yeah.
I should take my own stupid advice.
Exactly. Yep. So that's really my only complaint is that it's almost so realistic that it's frustrating to read, and not even necessarily that like, oh, I feel like it's so realistic, but when I try to examine it, I'm like, no, that's probably about right though. Like that's going to be pretty consistent. So there's that, and it is a little overly sexually charged, but again in a way that it's like. It's pretty realistic to what would probably be going on in that kind of a world. Yeah.
Mark Clark, I feel you. Tia gets a little bit annoying. I feel like by book 5 though, like she's interesting in book 5.
She hasn't bugged me yet. She hasn't bugged me yet. Although I just got to the part where she's going back to Kip's room after Gavin, and Kip fall off the boat, and she goes back because she's like, I gotta file these papers so that I'm not a slave anymore. And the guys in the room and Master, I guess, or whatever.
She is responsible for the best writing in the entire series. Is her conversation with the guy about God. So.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay, it'll be interesting to get to that. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at so far on that. But that's kind of cool that they named him Dazen. Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah. I hope they have another boy. They got it. I'm like, you guys, you have to name the next one Gavin, right? And they're like, I don't know.
Except the Gavin's supposed to be the older one, right?
I don't
and I mean, obviously, Gavin, like.
Well, that's the thing. They name the next one Gavin, and then they keep switching, right? They keep mixing them up.
No, if they have another one, they should name him Sebastian. Was it Sebastian? What's the brother they lost?
Oh yeah. They thought about that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're cool people. I made a lot of friends. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Glad you're on book 3.
Yeah. Yep. I'm coming along. So we're getting there.
An otherworldly experience, and I'm super excited for next year.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually think that I might try to see if I can make it out next year. Assuming that I can find a job and keep the job through till then, I think I'll try to plan on doing it.
Well, I wasn't planning on going this year, and I'm so glad that I did, because I'm not excited. I haven't read the Divergent series yet, so I wasn't super. I'm gonna get to it eventually, right? I know it's not Divergent.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm making a joke.
Yeah.
It's this Skyward. It's the Cytoverse, right?
Right.
I just wasn't excited for the book release, but I'm so glad I went. I just had fun. I also hung out with my friends who. You can't read. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, sorry. Cytonic. I'm on the third one there. I stopped after I read the first 2 as they came out. Couldn't quite get into the third one, and now I've just reread the 1 and 2, and I'm getting into this one so that I can get the new one because it's out now.
A good portion of the time I was there, I hung out with my friends who wrote the Skystone Chronicles and helped them sell books, and I would just make up stuff. It was pretty funny. They were cool with it. But yeah, I filmed. Okay, the premise for the video is I brought stuff to give away. I brought some free books. I'm not gonna spoil what they were. But I gave away free books to people who could answer 3 questions correctly, and they had to do with the Wheel of Time. So that's what the video is. It's really short because I didn't have a lot to give away, and they went away really fast because everyone had the same opinion. So everyone got the questions right. Even one who wanted to get them wrong got them right. So.
Nice.
Yeah. I told you you liked Dragon Guard more. Yeah, so did I. It's a better book. They're getting better with every book. So
that's good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of here.
I sold a lot of their books. I also helped print off their dragon scale necklaces. So I had a 3D printer, so I printed off a bunch for them, and they painted them and wrapped them in like little necklaces things. It was adorable. They're adorable.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. I'm gonna go to Dragonsteel every year, so that'll be my like if I get popular enough that I have adoring fans, you can always come see me at Dragonsteel. That will be my public outreach because
I'm excited for that.
I'm antisocial. I'm antisocial, and I hate talking to people. But at Dragonsteel, everyone has an excuse to talk to each other. Okay,
something to talk about. I'm excited about that castle they're looking at building. That's going to be fun.
They're going to build a castle bookstore.
Yeah. And it'll also be like
an
a place that you can go and like hold like book clubs and writing and writing groups, and like it's going to be legit from everything they're talking about. I'm stoked.
Yeah. If you want to come meet me in person, man, I'll be at Dragonsteel. So that's my thing.
Isn't Emeritus
I know I have
anymore?
I have fans, and I definitely appreciate it. I'm just saying. I'm not the kind of guy that would run, if I have like millions of viewers, I'm not the kind of guy that would, hey, let's do a meetup, right? I'm like, I don't want to, like, I don't
want to meet you guys in the real world.
Well, it's not that. You wouldn't want to meet me. Like I am not comfortable in that situation. So it's like never meet your heroes. It's just never meet your introverts, right? Like I would not be good company.
He's lying.
I would hate to like, hey, let's do a meetup, and then everyone just meets me and doesn't have a good time.
Hey, Kip, look up. It's okay. You're not that bad. Kip, you're not that bad. Oh wait, sorry. Sorry, I forgot.
Well, that's
Alan,
why
there
I
we go.
do improv. Like when I'm on stage, like I can be a different person, and I can pretend to step out of my comfort zone by not being myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can kind of do that at Dragonsteel too, because
yeah. Well, they're your people. That's the thing. Is that most everyone there is going to be your people. So
I don't know. Maybe meetups. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I've
All
met a
right.
bunch of white clips.
Enjoy talking about Invincible.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Have fun. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Yeah, Invincible. We'll talk real quick. It was good. Episode 4 was good. I liked it.
Yeah, episode 4. It definitely got into it real deep.
Yeah, no, I really like what they set up.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. There's this idea that he doesn't kill anybody, right? But then at the same time, like his dad's like, look, if you don't fight, like you're gonna kill her, you're gonna die.
I like that they're like redeeming his dad off screen.
Yeah, that whole part was a little weird.
No, I love it.
It was still a little weird.
And it was supposed to be. It's like, wait,
yeah, no, I agree.
What? You're this good guy. All the like the audience is literally in the same position as Invincible, and you're like, no, I don't want to like you. But he's like, I'm trying to be good now. You're, oh, okay. But also no, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Well,
I thought it was super fun to play with.
Yeah, well, and I appreciated too that like even with that, like even though he got there and he's like, oh great, you're good now, like he still was like, I'm leaving. I don't care. Like I'm not gonna deal with this because it doesn't matter to me because you left us, right? Like I think it was a real reaction to what you would do if something like that happened.
Right.
He's like, look, I don't care because you left us, meaning you don't care about us. So I'm not going to worry about this. Whatever their danger is, I don't care. But then, he's like, okay, well, ultimately, I can't be leaving knowing that something bad could happen. You're right. So it's like you've got that battle between, okay, what's the right thing to do?
He's playing off his son's goodness. Just like, hey, no. Yeah. I know you're too good to walk away from this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's super fun to see.
Yeah,
I know a couple people are upset because the Thraxians were supposed to be sexy.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so that's what the comic book says it as.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make more sense. Why? I guess. That would make more sense as to why
they're supposed to be a little sexy. And they're definitely toned down.
Yeah, but at the same time, I suppose that could be a smart choice because
I think it's
then
smart,
it seems more like it's like, hey, that's the only reason why he wanted to start a family, right? Yeah.
I think it actually helps. That
yeah,
like,
I agree.
Oh,
I agree.
I think they look. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, maybe it's not faithful to the material, but I do think that does make the story a lot better. Because that is the problem
on Twitter are like posting pictures and be like, never forget what they took from us.
See, but that's the thing. Like people, I mean, there's some comic book writers that you're just like, really? This is the stuff you're putting in your comics? Like, this is not appropriate. Like, why would you be putting that in there? So yeah, I get it that it's maybe not faithful, but it helped.
But the purpose of their existence is faithful. Like that's what it is. It's literally just they're not quite as sexy. So
yeah, but that whole thing, that was the weird. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's, I don't know, because like It's a little hard to believe with that though. Is like, oh, really? You fell in love with them? Like that is a little hard to believe, but I think that's only hard to believe because of what us as humans,
Right.
are told in our societies or what we grow to believe is like that's just weird to breed
Well,
inter.
and it show. I think it shows like this guy is an alien, right? Like he's in the process of becoming human. You know, like
Yeah,
he still has a ways to go.
that's a
And
good way
and
to look
and
at
we
it.
don't even know if that's the direction that he's gonna go in, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
I love Omni-Man as a character. I think he is an enigma and just fascinating, and I really love what they're doing. Now they're kind of forcing Mark into the like, okay, are you going to go save your dad or just let him be executed, or like I think that it is a fascinating dynamic, and I have no idea where this is going.
Yeah.
And I'm real excited.
Yeah, it definitely led. I mean, it turned the season in the direction that we wanted
Oh
as an
yeah.
Invincible season 2 for sure, right? Because there's this threat, right, where his other alien buddies are sorry, where they're trying to. I mean, well, one, we don't know how that's going to resolve itself, right? I
Right.
mean, because just think about it, like all of those aliens attacking um, Earth, like, oh man, they're doomed.
Right. Oh, I love the ultimatum, right? They're like,
Yeah,
"Hey, Mark, you can either do it yourself or you can wait till we show up." Like
yeah, like that's the
that's
thing. It's
that's a
like,
great
yeah,
ultimatum.
yeah. And I hope that the one thing though that I would say about this season is that I
Also,
find it.
this is hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was weird. That was weird. When they did that, I was like, that's weird. Okay, all right.
It's
But they did put it in the show, so
I
I
know.
mean,
I know. It's good.
yeah. Um, but the thing that I would say that's a little hard so far about the series or about this season is that Mark is definitely a wimp. He's just a wimp. Like
Yeah.
he can't hold his own against anybody,
He needs to grow
especially
up.
in
He
this
needs to grow up
season.
a little bit.
Yeah, like in this particular season, he's getting his butt handed to him every single encounter he's been in. He's getting his butt handed to him.
Yeah.
And maybe that goes into the deeper, story of hey, like, what does it mean to be a superhero? Like, does it mean to have superpowers, or is it, deeper than that or whatnot? But at the same time, it's like, it's not fun watching him get beat up every time.
That's a good fan art right there.
That's funny.
I'm looking at pictures of Invincible now, and I'm probably getting spoiled, but
yeah,
it's a good show.
it has been good. Definitely more violent this episode, but
Yeah, which had been lacking, right? We kind of finally got we got a good fight scene.
yeah, it was good to. I mean, it was fun to have a more in depth fight scene, a longer one for sure. I mean, it had some real stakes to it, like trying to hide the son,
Right.
The brother, and so I think it'll be interesting. But it's hard too, though, because literally it's like you watch that episode and you're like, okay, like I think I can start watching this now, and that's the last episode so far, until they come out in January or whatnot. I mean, and that's the thing. I gotta say, it is hard. The holiday season is always hard for me as far as like TV shows go,
right?
Because it's like they always take a break, and you're like, oh man, this would be the perfect time for me to have a TV show to watch.
It's literally the time when people have time to do stuff like this, right?
Yeah, right. So it's like, I got all the time in the world, but nothing to watch.
I don't know if Angrexa was correct about January. I don't see anything about January. So
yeah, I don't know either. But I mean, it is always hard though when you see them take a hiatus. I mean, because I've had that same thing with a couple of the other TV shows that I've watched. Things like Oh man, well,
Yeah, I've seen.
oh, like the Rookie, right? Like I watched that, and every time like you go in and you're turning on, and you're like, okay, sweet, it's Wednesday, right? Like they came out with a new episode, and then you realize that there isn't a new episode, and you're like, oh, what? Like this, my days.
The
messed
Rookie
up now.
started off with a lot of potential and then got real woke real fast.
I mean, yeah, I still like it though. It's pretty fun.
I mean, it's Nathan Fillion, so it's charming, but man, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch.
I enjoy it. It's been fun. I mean, I think they've still been successful at creating some scenarios that have seemed high pressure and high stakes, and so it's been good. I've enjoyed it, but that's not why we're on the show.
All I see is spring 2024, like early spring 2024. I don't see anything about January.
Well, regardless, it sucks.
Yeah, no, I'm upset.
Even if it were a couple weeks, it's hard because you're like,
this is from yesterday. Yeah, there's no date.
So we'll just have to wait. But we are at their
a news article from yesterday, and all it says is early 2024. So I think Angry Mexa got trolled.
Oof.
I think he got some bad intel, baby.
Anyway, it was good. So
it really, and
that was a good episode.
It is a good cliffhanger too. So like it's definitely gonna. It's enough to like, okay, I can wait. Not very long, but I'm gonna be coming back as soon as it's ready, because it's a great hang. It's a great co-hanger, you know.
Yeah, no, yeah, I would definitely come back just to see how it resolves. Obviously, so
it's a fun show. It's one of the most. It's so much better than The Boys, right? It's the same thing. Like, oh, what if Superman was a bad guy, right? The Boys is just edgy to be edgy, and this show is edgy. For the sake of storytelling, right? It's like, hey, what if let's actually get into this, and let's the storytelling is really interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Boys, so I couldn't speak to
that. It's gross. So
there you go. It's pretty popular. Everybody's talking about it. They've even got spin-offs of it, but
no one watched it.
Really?
Yeah. It got very poor views, the spin-off.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, and then it gets really woke and just like, okay, I don't care about this.
Okay.
So I don't like The Boys, but Invincible's super fun.
Yeah, Invincible's been good.
Yeah, we've got like 3 weeks of like not a lot of programming, so we need to plan the Year of Sanderson in there somewhere. And I think Rebel Moon will do like the last week of.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because we have the problem where it's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve is the Sunday, so I think we'll do maybe like a Saturday stream sometime then.
Okay, I'm gonna be doing something on the Saturday before Christmas Eve
then
too.
We could do a Friday. We'll see. We'll do a poll and see who's available. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be murdered if I'm streaming on those dates.
Yeah,
we've got 3 weeks. We'll figure out. I'll send out some texts. We'll figure out what we're talking about next week. If enough people are seeing Napoleon, I'll go see that. And then we'll do Year of Sanderson. And then we got a bye week, and then we'll Rebel Moon. I'm excited for Rebel Moon, baby.
Okay.
Looks real fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on it, so I'll have to check that out.
All right, we'll call it there because I need to start editing a video.
Yeah, go have fun.
It's fun. I'm excited for it.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. I didn't miss any. Good night, Jacob Ironside. Nerd Boyle hung out at your house. Yeah, I would love to hang out with Nerd Boyle in person. He's a cool cat. We need to do more than just stream. We need to do another. My brain's Star Trek hang out, watch another episode of that, but I haven't been watching because I'm not subscribed to Paramount Plus anymore. But there are other ways of getting episodes. Anyway, see you guys next week. I don't know what it's going to be about, but it'll be about something, and I'll be angry. So, bye. Oh, I almost just closed the tab instead of hitting end stream. It would have just kept going.
That would have been weird.
Here we go. There's the outro.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.